Hablas español. Parlez-vous français? If you just answered si, oui, or and are currently watching this video in English, chances are you belong to the massive portion of the global population that speaks 2 or more languages. Beyond the obvious perks of traveling with ease or watching movies without subtitles, being bilingual actually means your brain looks and works fundamentally differently than the brain of someone who only speaks one language. So, what does it really mean to know a language? Language ability is usually measured in 2 active skills, speaking and writing, and 2 passive skills, listening and reading. While a perfectly balanced bilingual person has near equal fluency across all skills in both languages, most bilinguals around the world actually understand and use their languages in varying proportions. Depending on their situation and how they acquired each language, they generally fall into 3 main categories. Let's look at Gabriella, whose family immigrated to the US from Peru when she was just 2 years old. As a compound bilingual, she developed 2 linguistic codes simultaneously, with a single set of concepts, learning both English and Spanish as she first began to process the world around her. Her teenage brother, on the other hand, might be a coordinate bilingual, working with 2 separate sets of concepts, learning English in school while continuing to speak Spanish at home and with friends. Finally, Gabriella's parents are likely subordinate bilinguals, who learn a secondary language by filtering it strictly through their primary mother tongue. Because all types of bilinguals can become fully proficient in a language, regardless of accent or pronunciation, the difference between these types might not be obvious just by listening to them. However, recent advances in brain imaging technology have allowed neuroscientists to look inside our heads and see exactly how language learning affects the brain. It's well known that the brain's left hemisphere is generally more dominant for logical and analytical processes, while the right hemisphere is more active in emotional and social ones, though this is not an absolute split. The fact that language involves both types of functions, while lateralization, the brain dividing functions, develops gradually with age, has led to the critical period hypothesis. According to this theory, children learn languages much more easily because the plasticity of their developing brains lets them use both hemispheres in language acquisition. In most adults, however, language is lateralized to just one hemisphere, usually the left. If this is true, learning a language in childhood could give you a much more holistic grasp of its social and emotional contexts. Interestingly, recent research shows that people who learn a second language in adulthood exhibit less emotional bias and actually have a much more rational approach when confronting problems in their second language compared to their native one. But regardless of when you acquired your languages, being multilingual gives your brain some incredibly massive advantages. Some of these are even physically observable, such as a higher density of gray matter, which contains most of your brain's neurons and synapses. Furthermore, certain regions of your brain become far more active when engaging a second language. This intense lifelong workout for your brain can actually delay the onset of diseases like Alzheimer's and dementia by as much as 5 years. Today, the cognitive benefits of bilingualism seem totally obvious, but it would have completely shocked earlier experts. Before the 1960s, being bilingual was actually considered a massive handicap that supposedly slowed a child's development by forcing them to waste too much energy distinguishing between 2 languages. This flawed view was based on deeply flawed studies. A more recent study completely changed the narrative. While it showed that the reaction times and errors of some bilingual students slightly increased in cross-language tests, it ultimately revealed that the immense effort and intense focus needed to switch between languages triggers massive brain activity and actively strengthens the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. This is the exact part of the brain that plays the most crucial role in executive function, problem-solving, switching between tasks, and laser focusing while filtering out irrelevant information. So, while being bilingual might not automatically make you smarter, it absolutely makes your brain healthier, more complex, and vastly more active. And if you didn't have the good fortune of learning a second language as a child, it is absolutely never too late to do yourself a massive favor and make the linguistic leap from hello to hola, bonjour, or. Because when it comes to your brain, a little workout goes a very long way. What languages do you currently speak, and what language do you want to learn next? Let us know in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more brain hacking science. Stay sharp, and see you in the next one.